Hey guys, I didn't think this would be needed, but it's becoming more important these days. If this video is going to be helpful to you, please subscribe, it will really help me out. And with that, let's get on with the review. So I've started setting up the Lenovo 7i16 and I've come to the conclusion that it is just too heavy for me. For the way I use it, if you use this on a desktop you'll be fine. Very solidly built and very nice to use. But for somebody who is flipping this around, this is not going to work. So we're just going to have to go with the LG Gram. Right, let's unbox the LG Gram and see how it is inside. So I'm going to cut the label and cut the label here as well. Let's see how it is. The box is noticeably smaller than the Lenovo box. So we've got some kind of calendar over here. I'm not sure what relevance this has. And we have a cloth cover. And we have the Gram inside of this cloth case over here. So that there, ladies and gentlemen, is the LG Gram, and I can tell you that compared to this thing feels twice as heavy as this LG Gram, and I think this feels slightly heavier than my Lenovo 720, but this is definitely something that I could use. So it's got a plastic covering over here. Underneath we have a grate over here where we have the ventilation, and I believe we have the speaker grills on either side. So we open it, we've got the cloth protective cover, and underneath we have the keyboard. Now one thing that put me off the Lenovo Yoga, man, this thing is heavy, is that when I was trying to use it and trying to set it up, the screen was not backlit. There might be a way to turn on the backlight for the screen, but I don't see it. I checked the function keys. It might be in there, but then the weight stops me immediately, and that backlight thing really was a negative, because when I'm using it as a laptop computer, the backlights help to illuminate the keys, and without them I couldn't really see what I was typing. So that was a non-starter for me. That was really what tipped the scales for me. So this one actually feels pretty good. It feels better than I thought it would from what I tested in the store. So what do we have here? We have a USB 3.2, and it's got one of these 3.2 ports where you have to pull down a tab over here to get the port access, and it snaps up to make it slimmer. We have a micro SD slot over here next to the power button, and on this side we have two USB-Cs, and I believe they're 4.0s, and we have a headphone jack. So holding this in my hand, I think that this is going to be a much better experience for me than the Lenovo. And you know what? I thought that the keys felt flimsy in the shop demo model, but then typing them here now, they actually feel a lot better. So, okay, we have a computer there. What else do we have in the box? We have something else that Lenovo doesn't have, and that is a stylus pen. So we open this. It's taped down as well. So take a knife and open it. A little bit untidy. Okay, let's get in there. Get in there, Lewis. Okay. Tab to pull out. And there we have a pen. We have replacement stylus in there, and we'll find out more about it later. Stylus is right now on my priority to use. So what else do we have in the box? We have the owner's manual, a nice cardboard, probably recycled paper booklet. That's pretty cool. and we have a very compact power brick. And as is the case these days, this is a USB-C power brick. And we have the mains adapter, the mains cable for our power brick. So that's what we're going to use. Let's get this thing open. Okay. It's been 3 weeks since I opened this box and this laptop, and I think I can give you a better overview of how it behaves and my experience with it. I can't believe this is the third Alder Lake laptop that I've unboxed. So this is the Alder Lake i7, and it's a 1260p processor. Quite powerful. I don't need all that power, but then it's going to last me for a long time because it's going to have enough power for all the upgrades that are going to come down the pipeline. So it has 16 gigs of RAM and it has 512 gigs of SSD. Now the SSD is hard soldered or fixed to the laptop, so you're stuck with whatever you get. So just keep that in mind. The screen is great. It's a 2500 by 1600 resolution, and together with the 16-inch display gives you plenty of real estate for working with. A friend of mine had a portable secondary monitor that you could hook up with a USB and have a dual screen setup. That I liked a lot. I don't travel with my laptop, so I wouldn't need that, but for those of you who want to be productive while you're traveling, that's a really good option. So this laptop is barely any heavier than this 13.3-inch Yoga 720. The screen is a little too big for, lying on the couch and watching Netflix and, browsing the internet. However, for desktop use, it is perfect. This laptop the design looks sleek, and I think it should be in a James Bond movie. The really sharp edge design, and the reason for that, well, scratch that, it shouldn't be in a James Bond movie, because this thing is a fingerprint magnet. It is just full of fingerprints. The nice slate design that you think you'll be getting will be just marred by the amount of fingerprints that you can see that this thing gathers. It's pretty bad. And another thing I've noticed is it gathers nicks very easily. So there are a few nicks already in these couple of weeks that I've used it. I don't use my laptop particularly roughly, but I can tell you that the Lenovo will probably fare a lot better in use than this one. It is not extremely fragile, but it's not super tough either. So as far as the build quality is concerned, I would say that it is decent. People are talking about these RAM laptops having like flimsy screens that can seem that they're very, susceptible to bending. But this one actually feels okay. It is nowhere near as solid feeling as the Lenovo, the 7i that we had the other day. But it feels like, it'll have no problem lasting as long as you don't do anything crazy to it. It has a little bit of a lip going around the edge, like a raised frame lip, and that probably helps to give it structural rigidity. So face recognition, I think you saw that thing pop up when I opened the screen again. For some reason I don't think it is very good at recognizing me, and I'd say that 60% of the time it fails, and that may be due to the low light conditions that I'm in, and maybe I didn't set it up really well. So what I'll probably be doing is I'll be using the fingerprint sensor. That'll probably be a lot better. So this is the power button, and that one takes a little longer to shut off and boot up. There's a quick start button on the side, and that I think just freezes the laptop as it is, and then when you open up it picks up from where you start. This Lenovo starts up much faster with the power on button, so I'm not sure what the technical differences are there, but just to let you know. And if you switch it off with the power off button, it doesn't revive with the quick start button, and vice versa. That seems to be the case. So what else can I tell you about this laptop? The keyboard, I don't like it. They have placed the symbols like on this top row with the numbers. They've placed the symbols side by side with the numbers, and it's much harder to pick them out, especially when you're lying down on the couch with a laptop. I couldn't, from an angle you can barely tell the decimal point from the comma, and picking out, what these symbols are at an angle is really difficult. And another thing that has really annoyed me is that you have to press the function key in order to raise the button, use the volume up and down buttons. That should be, it should be just a one press thing. I think there may be a way to function lock the keys over here so you don't have to do with the function button. And another cruel trick that the designers played with us is that they put the minus and plus buttons right below the volume up and down, the volume minus and plus button. So a lot of the time I'm pressing the function key and I'm stabbing the plus sign and nothing's happening. I'm like, oh, I got to shift up here and press the right buttons. So a bit of an annoyance. So apart from that, this keyboard is backlit, and the backlighting is not one even backlighting. You can kind of see the point sources of the light, the LEDs below the keys. So I'd say that the Lenovo I really like a lot more than this laptop. If only the Lenovo would be much lighter than it is. Talking about the webcam, it is a 1080p webcam, HD quality, and you'd think in theory that is a good thing, but it is fuzzy and washed out, so the quality is not good. It does not work well in less than bright light, and that is due to the thickness of the screen panel over here. You can't really put a big sensor in there, so don't buy this for the webcam quality. So when using this on my lap, one issue I have is the vents. So these vents over here generate a lot of heat, and I'm quite surprised by it. So it does get a little uncomfortable that way. I didn't think that this laptop will do that. I heard that the Mac Air M1 doesn't have that problem, so I was hoping that this wouldn't have that problem either. Anyway, just something to think about. So the USB-A port over here, it has a small flap at the bottom that has to be pushed out of the way to access it. I thought that would be cumbersome to use, but then it's very easy. As soon as you insert the stick, just push it down and insert your drive. So not too much of an issue to use. It works pretty well. Talk about battery life. I thought this will be a laptop I can use all day and not worry about running out of power, but then it does drain and it does run out before the end of the day. It is better than other laptops I've used before, but it still is an issue, and that is with web browsing and watching videos as well, streaming stuff on it. So a little bit of a disappointment, but it has improved a lot since the last laptop that I used. So it has Alexa built in, and I don't think there's a way to readily shut off Alexa. It used to pop up and ask me whether I want to set up Alexa, and I was looking for a way to turn it off. I didn't look hard, but then in the last few days it hasn't been asking me, so it probably learns from that. However, I don't know if Alexa is up and running in the background. I'll not be too happy about that, so I'll have to double back and check. And we're pretty close to wrapping up on this review. We also have the stylus pen. I think I started looking at it earlier. So this thing, what we have in it, I already opened it up and put it back. We have the pen. We have what they call tweezers. Let me try and get this thing out. They put a slot where you can use your finger to get it out, but my fingers are a little too big. We have some replacement nibs for the pen, and we have a quadruple A battery. So this tweezer over here is a tool that you're meant to slot into the nib to pull it out once it's run out and replace it. So to insert the battery, you unscrew it. We're going to get there eventually. And the negative goes in first, and you screw it back in. That's good. So performance of the pen is pretty good. Let me try and pull up paint. And with laptops these days, the handwriting performance is excellent. You don't get that lag that you used to have in days past, so it is an excellent writing tool. So with this, I don't think you'll have any, I'm not an artist at all, but for us mere mortals, I think would be very fine. And that just about wraps it up with the LG Gram 16-inch 2022, or the Alder Lake version. So there was something that we saw when we were unboxing the laptop with a calendar thingy on it. It's kind of fallen apart as I've moved it around. And it turns out this is some kind of calendar that you can use forever. Basically you can adjust it and it will adjust with whatever month you're dealing with at the time. So you have the assembly instructions over here. So you have these two side pieces. Let's see if we can put it up as you guys watch. So get these out. I'm a guy, I don't read instructions. Okay, we have this that has a calendar in it. And this, I believe, is the back plate. So how does this all come together? I believe these probably slot in here. There's something that's meant to come down here. I don't see it. Is it this? Yep, it looks like this one here. So it looks like this, slots in here. Probably should have the instructions facing down, but I'm just going to do it this way. Looking at it already. And the calendar slots between these two slots over here. Have no idea how this works, but apparently you're meant to be able to shift it and it adjusts to whatever time, calendar month that you're using. There's something that's meant to go up here, so let's see what it is. Do we have any pieces left? Yes, we have one up here. And this has the days of the week on it. So this one slots in here. So depending on where you are in the month, the Sunday is the 1st, or if it is the 5th, you can slide it and it'll correspond to the right days. So I guess every month you slide it and you will be in sync, and this will last. You can hand it down to your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, and it will go into legend, into history. So if this video has been useful to you, please give me a thumbs up, please subscribe, it's going to help me a lot. Thanks for watching, and we're going to catch you guys in the next video.